And some breaking news from the WNBA. Caitlin Clark is back. She is going to be returning to action tomorrow, in a big game on TV against the undefeated New York Liberty. Here's Caitlin Clark. She just talked about her return moments ago.
I'm really excited. I think it's definitely been a process. I think the hardest part is when you begin to feel really good, and then it's just a process of working yourself back into actually getting up and down and getting out there with my teammates. It's certainly a learning opportunity, and I think it's going to benefit me, a lot throughout my career, just falling back and understanding, certain moments like this. But I'm super, super excited. I'm antsy to get out there and probably shake off a little bit of rust.
So these two faced off, I believe in the last game. Clark played before the injury, and they lost by 2. It was a tough one at the end. They could have had a shot. The Fever went 2-3 without her, but Colin, that's not what you want to talk about, right? You want to talk about the 55% drop in ratings league-wide without Clark. I mean, they're building Saturday games around Caitlin Clark practically every week. And it's like, okay,
Finally.
well, you got the best team in the league versus Clark back from an injury. I'm expecting a massive number. I don't know what you have planned this weekend, whether you're going out to hang out with large groups of people somewhere or hanging out with Chicago Bears people, but I'm guaranteeing I'll be texting you about Caitlin Clark during the game.
I'll watch it.
Should be a good one.
Yeah.
I'm not going to bet it. But by the way, how about this? The game's in Indiana. So you get game 4 tonight. By the way, the Pacers are undefeated when Caitlin Clark is in the building, 8-0. And then Saturday, you get the Fever against the Liberty. So nice little basketball back-to-back before the soccer kicks in.
Well, it's one of our great basketball states. J-Mac with the news.
All right. Yeah. Without Caitlin Clark playing, it was nice to have Indiana Fever and Caitlin Clark playing on Saturdays. In the middle of the day, it gave me kind of something to watch. I get a little antsy with, running the channels that I run and whatnot, and making all these videos. And it was there's not much going on here now. And I felt like lacking it. And I remember last summer, watching the Caitlin Clark games, and they weren't as many as televised, but the ones that were, it was this is fun. This is interesting. This is something new. This is cool. And when she was not, when she got injured, it was what's the point? What's the point? So having her back, is massive, and it's more than just the record. It will be ratings through the roof. But more than that, though, this is obviously going to be a tough game for her to come back. She even joked about it, she's going to have some rust. She, even though it wasn't a huge injury, where she had to get surgery and whatnot, every time you get injured, there's still always a process of retrusting your body. You're kind of, hypersensitive to all the extra aches and pains that you feel, and you're running up and down. You kind of feel something, and you're like, was that just my normal feeling? Is this oh no, it's happening again? Is it not? Is it this? It's just, you have to get reacquainted with your body in a lot of ways. And I wonder if there's going to be any sort of restrictions on her, any type of, minute restrictions. Is she going to be wearing some sort of wrap? I honestly have no idea. Are they, is she going to be able to return? And she still can play full strength, but they're still going to try to limit certain aspects of her game. Is she going to drive less, maybe, right? Does she not really want to take some contact? Does she not want to explode as much down the court? I honestly don't know. Does she have her true legs under her? So will her jump shot be a little short? There's kind of that exploring process. And here's the thing, she doesn't have all the answers, because she even said this was a good learning experience for her. It's not something that she's really gone through. So she's going to be kind of figuring it out as well. And that's kind of a tough spot for you to be in, because I don't trust any of the people around her. I don't trust any of the other players around her. I don't trust any of the other coaches around her. So it's when you don't know personally, you can't rely on your own actual experience. It's a little bit harder, if you're actually in the NBA and you've been surrounded by other elite players for years and years and years, and you got the experience, it's you feel a little bit more comfortable. You can trust your coaching staff. If Steph Curry gets a little banged up and Steve Kerr is hey, this is what I think you need to do. Listen, from my experience, I don't want you really drawing a lot of contact today over these next couple of games, and it's you can kind of trust that back and forth. I'm kind of Caitlin, don't listen to anyone else. Go seek outside counsel. You go find, the people who actually legitimately know what they're talking about. If you personally don't have the answer just yet, in fact, start getting some legitimate contacts with NBA players. You need to start building like true deep relationships with like Steph, KD, LeBron, MJ. Like you need to, I know you and Halliburton are kind of getting closer and closer, and it's like really develop a deeper relationship where you guys can, because it seems little, but like it's all these, it's, you hear a lot of players talk about that after they get like a similar injury, reaching out to other players and being like, hey, what was your process like? How did you go about it? Like it's, it is very kind of, a brotherhood and a sisterhood in that regard. And again, I'm not trying to pretend like she's had this huge injury and all that, but like any type of injury where you're actually missing games, like it's legit. It's a legitimate injury. Like and especially it's one of two things too. Like you either like fundamentally can't do what you need to do, or if you keep pushing it, you now risk of having a true injury, which means you're on the cusp. You literally have the inability to do what you were able to do before, or if you keep going, you're going to hurt it so badly that you will now need a surgery. So it's like it's an injury. We sometimes like overlook injuries as like if it's not a broken bone or torn something, it's kind of like whatever. But it's like it's not always the case. So that's why I am curious, and this will obviously be a tough physical game, and we know that these women always want to go after Caitlin Clark, and I don't even mean in like in a direct like dirty way or anything like that, but like they constantly want to try to send her a message and be like, we're here, and it's like yeah, I get it, but you know what, when Caitlin Clark wasn't there, neither was anyone else, so congrats on that. So I'm excited to see her play. I'm not expecting her just to like hit the ground running and just explode and go off with it. I mean, and if she does, I'll be praising it. I'll be making videos. I'll be like, this is unbelievable. Coming back from injury and game one against a great team, she's just balling. Like, that's remarkable. But like, I'm gonna have my expectations tampered down a bit, as well as depending on how this game unfolds. If it's not a close game, if it feels like it's a little bit of out of reach for the Fever, like I would be curious to see how much she ends up playing, if they kind of shut her down for the fourth quarter, if they're just like, all right, good game coming back, we didn't win this game, but whatever, we're just trying to reintegrate you. Like I'm curious. I can really see it going in all different directions, and the reality is it all comes down to her level of health, and we just don't really know. I believe she's fully healthy and all that, but it's just like, like I said, I think she kind of said a little bit of the quiet part out loud when she said shake off a little bit of rust. To me, that kind of signals of like, she recognizes that it's like she's not going to just be plug and play and dominate. So, but either way, super excited. But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about Caitlin Clark returning to play on Saturday, or when you're watching this today? Let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment, so whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get in some discussions, let's get in some fights, but ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We are building an amazing community here, and I absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to, something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're all on our way to doing it. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help with visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.